everybody. This is Brenda Green with the Be Strong Group. This is our Wednesday edition of our Tuesday chat. And for those of you who don't know, my husband and I founded this nonprofit in honor of our son, Braden, who has sickle cell disease. So it's our desire or it's our mission to spread awareness of sickle cell disease through education, through advocacy, and through empowerment. And we've decided really to begin this Tuesday chat to start discussions, to lead discussions on topics that are important to those with sickle cell disease, their caregivers, and people who just want to learn more about sickle cell disease. So that's why we're here. We're so grateful for all of the past guests that we've had to that will come on here and actually share information to our listeners. And thank you for those who are joining us tonight and for those who are watching on replay. We appreciate you. We're so excited because if you heard us last week, I was the special guest last week, you guys. I was interviewed by one of our board members and our fellow advocate, Dr. Tracy Swilly, and we were talking about our upcoming annual event, our fifth annual Braden's Birthday Bash and Blood Drive. And it's a community event that we're so excited about. We're excited for having our fifth annual event. We're partnering with Richland County Recreation Commission once again and the American Red Cross in hosting this event free to our community. So it's going to be Saturday, March 26th at Kaufman Road Park, 2733 Trotter Road in Hopkins, South Carolina. You can come and join us. The bash portion of the community health fair will be outdoors. So we'll have kickball tournament, we'll have music, we'll have food, we'll have special demonstrations for yoga, meditation, Zumba. You can learn how to line dance. Just a family friendly event. And inside the gym, we will have our blood drive. And tonight, that's our topic of discussion tonight. In preparation for our upcoming blood drive, we really appreciate the relationship and the partnership we have with the American Red Cross. And our special guest tonight is our very own sickle cell account manager for the American Red Cross, and actually our very own, my fellow caregiver of a warrior mom, Vesha Jamison. And I want to bring Vesha to the studio. Hey, Vesha.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Great.
Good. Thank you, Visha, for joining us tonight. I know you hung in there with me on last night when life happens, you guys. So we had to reschedule for tonight, and Visha was all on board so that we can share information with you tonight. So thank you for working with us, Visha, and we're so glad to have you so you can give our followers, our listeners, some information about donating blood. So we still have, Visha, we have about 22 slots we need to fill. So those of you who are listening, if you have questions, put it in the comments so we can get them answered tonight. You can actually visit redcrossblood.org, and for the sponsor code, you can list Be Strong, and I'll add that in the comments in a second. And you can sign up, pick you a slot. There's a lot of them. So you can go ahead and pick your own preferred time and come and help us save lives. So, Visha, I'm just going to let you take the floor and just, first of all, just share some more information about yourself to our non-regulars that may be listening tonight.
Well, to our non-regulars, welcome, and we hope that you will become a regular as there are so many good nuggets and such great information that our wonderful Brenda Green actually shares with us via her Tuesday/Wednesday chats from time to time. She has incredible and phenomenal speakers that bring forth such great information that we all need in the sickle cell community and just overall in general. So, as she said, I'm Vesha Jamison, Sickle Cell Account Manager for the American Red Cross of South Carolina, and also Warrior Mom. I'm also founder of Dre 365 nonprofit organization, which we work hand in hand almost with the
Yes.
Be Strong group a lot to as parent advocates as well as resources to our fellow moms, our warriors, and our communities overall. So it's just the perfect thing for me to have transitioned into the role at the American Red Cross as we have a sickle cell initiative. So I literally tell people, most people don't take work home or they try not to bring home to work, but I do a little bit of both because it's a personal mission to me. And that is one of the reasons why I went to the Red Cross. Um, so essentially, the Red Cross has a sickle cell initiative because they have come to realize that our warriors receive more blood transfusions overall and in general. There are some warriors who receive transfusions on a monthly basis, some that every 4 to 6 weeks they have to have several units of blood. So they have a whole initiative centered around sickle cell and increasing our blood donor population amongst our Black and African American community, or I'll say our diverse communities.
Right.
The mission is essentially to diversify the blood supply. And we know that when we have our babies in the hospital, and I always say our babies,
Yes.
but when we have our warriors in the hospitals, their most compatible blood match is going to come from someone within that same race or ethnic group. So we want to be able to diversify the blood supply because right now we only make up about I'll say pre-COVID, about 4% of the donor population. So if you can do the math on that, knowing that sickle cell disease is predominantly a Black and African American disease here in the United States, not exclusively, but just here in the United States. And then we make up the smallest percentage of the donor pool. That balance is kind of off. So that's the mission, is to kind of close that gap. What we don't want to see is when our warriors, here I go getting ready to say babies again, are in need of a transfusion, that supply is not there at the hospital, or we're having to wait for so long until it puts them in a more critical condition. So, and I'll share a personal experience. Back in November, Draylon was actually hospitalized with RSV and acute chest syndrome, both critical for someone with sickle cell disease and for someone his age. He's only 11. So you think about these respiratory illnesses that are here. And when we were admitted, he was matched and typed when we were admitted. So that meant that they knew that a blood transfusion was going to be essential in this particular moment. So it was a couple days before we were able to get a unit of blood. And that's atypical for us because we're just used to, being in the hospital. They match and type, then, that next day or within a few hours, we're accustomed to that unit being there. And that did not happen in November. So it's alarming for especially a parent, to be able to sit there and just wonder, when is it going to come? And right now, hospitals are being asked to evaluate all procedures that require blood. That's another scary thing. His doctor did verify that this was essential for him to be able to get better. Otherwise, he would be in a more critical condition. His hemoglobin normally runs about 8.6 to 8.8. When we were admitted, it was at a 7.5 already.
Wow.
So, days later, it began to drop more. It went to 6.5, then 6.2, and his platelets began to plummet. So it was essential for him to receive that transfusion, but yet again, we're on the waiting end, right? So these are the situations that we want to not have as many of when we talk about providing blood for our patients with sickle cell. And if I can kind of spin off just a little bit, not just only for sickle cell. We know that between Brenda and I and a lot of our community, sickle cell is at the forefront of our efforts and our advocacy.
Right.
But we both have family members that have been affected by different illnesses or different diagnoses, which they have been required to have blood transfusions. So
Mhm.
no one wakes up in the morning and plans to be on the other end of a traumatic accident or plan to get a cancer diagnosis, and have to be that particular person to receive a unit of blood. No mom who goes into labor expects to deliver a baby, but also have to have a blood transfusion because she's lost too much blood. So we think about all of these different situations that can occur, and people need to get blood. So that blood supply, it needs to be there. Prior to COVID, the Red Cross liked to have at least a 5-day supply on hand, and that was pretty typical. Well, now during these unprecedented times, that blood supply has decreased drastically, where we're looking at a half day to maybe a day's supply being on our shelves. So
Wow.
through this initiative, we are essentially, if I can be completely transparent, pounding the pavement, out in our communities, asking people, literally holding hands with them while they're on that bed donating, just so they can get in the habit of donating and make it a routine thing. We're asking people to come out. If you're unable to donate blood, we ask that you follow suit with the Be Strong group and host blood drives. Partner with the Be Strong group in order to be able to recruit donors to come out to the birthday bash on March 26th.
Much.
Um, gotta have that plug, right?
Yeah.
And if you, like I said, if you're unable to donate, I always tell people, recruit two people in your place, because
Mhm.
you're so special. It takes two people to replace you. So ask two people to come out on the 26th and donate in your honor. If you know someone who has sickle cell disease, come out, donate, take a picture, take a selfie while you're on that bed, and send it to your loved one and say, hey, I did something in your honor today. These are all things. We don't know how certain things affect other people. And we always ask, what can I do? What can I do? Well, a hot meal sometimes will suffice, but there's no greater gift than giving the gift of life. Each unit can save
Absolutely.
up to 3 lives. And there's no better feeling than knowing that I've done something that has saved a life, essentially, right? We can write a check, and that's the easy way out, right? We
Mhm.
can drop off a meal. That's the easy way out. Girl, I'll send you a DoorDash, or I'll send you an Instacart order. But for us to actually get up, get dressed, show up, and sit there and give the gift of life, that selfless hour, max, I'll say, can save someone's life.
Absolutely. And Visha, I know you're sharing, you shared a portion of your personal story and you're speaking from your position as Sickle Cell Account Manager for the Red Cross. But I want people to realize, every time you hear Brenda Green saying, please sign up, um, and you hear Visha speaking to you about the importance of signing up and donating blood and become a regular donor, we're speaking and asking and appealing to you from the position of sitting in, for my position, pick you, and watching blood go into my son's body and praying while I watch it to make sure his body is able to heal from being sick. So that's the perspective I'm coming from. And Visha has shared with you the personal perspective she's coming from. So we're not just asking you because we need a box to check. We understand that that need is real. This blood that you're donating is going to real people that are loved, that are needed in this world. So this is genuine. This is something that I know I've committed to from that moment back in 2015 of watching that blood go into my baby's body. I was committed to being a regular blood donor myself and encouraging as many people as possible to be regular blood donors because I mean you could need the blood. I mean, yeah, we're coming from the sickle cell perspective, but you could need that blood supply. So let's just get in the habit and become regular donors and go ahead and sign up.
Yeah. And sometimes we just need a little education on the front end. You know,
Yes,
for me, from
absolutely.
my perspective, I didn't grow up, you know, seeing lots of people in my community go out and donate blood.
Right.
So it was a new experience for me. And like you said, Brenda, watching that blood, you know, go down that tube into your baby's body is a totally different feeling. And literally, um and I'll say you sit and you wonder if this is going to be the thing that's going to get them to feeling better. But then on the other side of that is you're watching that process happen, and you're literally watching your baby like come to life,
Mm,
because in those moments, in those critical moments, they're almost lifeless, you know. And to see that is tough as a parent. And then you're thinking that some person that, you know, was not selfish, you know, went out and donated, and this particular person's hour of time is the thing that is bringing my baby back to life, you
right.
know. And so Drayla and I, we have adopted this thing of, we say a prayer for the person, you know, when that unit arrives, we say a prayer, because we're so thankful that, you know, they essentially found it not robbery to do that in his honor. You know, we don't know them personally, we know they may not know us personally, but in our minds they did it just for him. And like you said, Brenda, we're so thankful, and we come from a personal point of view. But overall, in general, this is something, blood cannot be manufactured,
No.
right? It's not made in a lab. So this is something that only comes from a human donating their blood to the American Red Cross. It's not something that we can make a concoction, right, and
Right.
say, here, it's not a simple pill or anything that we can take for other things, right? It's something that cannot be manufactured, and we can only get that through other people. um and your body regenerates it, guys. You know, that's one of the things we hear all the time. And I'm gonna spin off again, Brenda. Some of the common questions we hear, or some of the common reasons why we hear that people don't donate, number one is because they've never been asked, right? That's the number one reason that we hear. So we're here asking you, right? So you can't use that one. So
Mhm.
the other part is, you know, they're afraid of needles, right? So my thought behind that is, if you're ever in a situation where it's a must that you receive the needle, that fear goes out the window, right? So let's be more proactive than reactive on that end. And that one tiny little stick in that second, you know, in my opinion, is so rewarding for what comes on the other end. You know, when that bag is filled and it's going, you know, to processing, and you can see your blood journey where it's delivered to a hospital, to a patient in need. My thing is you completely forget about that one stick that took all of 5 seconds, right?
Absolutely.
We have staff that will make you feel comfortable. When I say holding hands on the bed, like literally holding your hand through the process, staff that is talking you through every single thing that they're doing, making sure you're comfortable. There are a number of things you can do to distract yourself. You know, bring a partner, bring a friend or family member, right? The more the merrier. But also, you know, you can have your headphones and watch a show or something on your phone while you're on the bed, to be distracted, or it's, you know, to kind of take your mind off what's going on. You'll have people around like myself and Brenda, those of us who have done the process before, to kind of give you an added layer of reassurance. Another thing that we hear is, you know, I've had somebody say, I need all my blood,
Mhm.
you know. And that's what made me bring up the point of, you know, your body regenerates this. You know, your body has on average about 10 units of blood, 10 pints of blood. So taking away one doesn't essentially harm you, because your body is going to regenerate that. And that's why we ask that you eat a well balanced meal beforehand, but we also encourage you afterwards, you know, eat to restore those nutrients um, that you've essentially given away. So these small things, you know, in my mind, are minute compared to the greater outcome, and what stands on the other side of that.
Absolutely. And you were transitioning and answering one of the questions that we have in the comments already. And Thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you all for listening. Again, we have Vesha Jamison, the Sickle Cell Account Manager for the American Red Cross. She's here to share some valuable information with us and to answer any questions you may have in prep for our birthday bash and blood drive on March 26th. Um, but Angela, hey Angela, what should you do prior to giving blood to ensure you can donate?
That is a great question. Thanks, Angela. Um, One of the things I always tell people, it is not like getting lab work done when you go to your doctor's appointment. So please, by all means, do not fast. Okay. A lot of people think that I should be fasting because I'm giving blood. No, absolutely. We want you to eat a good hearty meal, whether it's breakfast or lunch, depending on the time that you're going to donate. We want you to eat well. That is going to help when you're donating. We want you to be well hydrated. Drink as much water as you can stand. That is also going to help.
I
That
think
also
Angela
helps your
needs to hear
time.
that. Angela does need to hear about the hydrate part, right?
Yes, Angela, that will get you off of the bed in about 5 minutes versus 10 minutes, right? We want that blood flowing. And we don't realize how essential water is in our bodies in general, right? But when we're hydrated, that helps that blood flow. She's laughing in the comments. So we want you to be extremely hydrated. Also, another thing I say is if you have any what's the word I want to use? If you have any things that you need to reassure yourself about, like for instance, if I'm on a certain medication, can I donate? We have tons of resources, redcrossblood.org, and you'll just click on donate blood, and there's an eligibility checklist there. So if there's specific medications that you're concerned about, whether that makes you ineligible to donate, you can find that information there. Also, people who say, I have sickle cell trait, I can't donate, you absolutely can donate if you have the trait. That has been a long standing rule, and it has since been lifted. I'll say one of those restrictions that have been lifted. People who have trait can donate. Brenda and I both obviously have the trait, and we both donate. So you can absolutely do that. We advise you to eat iron rich foods leading up to the day. And Brenda and I both can attest to how important that is, because a lot of times we see a high number of deferrals.
Right.
And what I mean by that is you're deferred for low iron. So when you come in to donate, they do a mini health physical, right? You'll get your temperature checked, you get a blood pressure check. They're going to check your hemoglobin to see whether it's high enough for you to donate. So Brenda and I have both, left that donation center with the sad face because our
Mhm.
iron levels weren't high enough to actually donate on that particular day. So you want to make sure you're eating iron-rich foods leading up to the blood drive, leafy green vegetables, some good red meat. All of these things. It's an excuse to go out and have a steak night. Prior to if anything that has lots of iron in it, you want to make sure that those are the things you're eating leading up to the drive. We want that iron to be up there so you're able to donate. Like I said, that is a one of the main things that we see in deferrals. Um, High blood pressure. Listen, do not let anybody ruffle your feathers the day of the blood drive, okay, or before. These things we all see. People ask about diabetes. If I have diabetes, can I donate? You absolutely can, as long as your diabetes is controlled, and you're feeling well that day. That's why we do that health questionnaire on the day that you're donating, because these things will allow us to be able to determine how you're feeling on the day you're donating. All of these things, like I said, can be found on redcrossblood.org under that donate tab, and eligibility in the eligibility section. So, Angela, I hope I answered your question. These are just some things you can do leading up to ensure that you're able to donate on the day of. And the other requirement would be, eat Irish foods, be well hydrated, and bring a friend.
Bring a friend.
Bring a
Good.
friend. That's on that eligibility list too.
She said, "Yes, ma'am." And on that, and I know I had to, because of the low hemoglobin,
Mhm,
I had to consult with my physician to
mhm,
see what was the best type of supplement to take to make sure my hemoglobin is high enough so that I can donate. And so, for those who say, who are anemic or who tend to have um, low hemoglobin, which is frequent in a lot of African Americans. And so, however, but there are things we can do to keep it higher. So you can eat the food that Visha mentioned. You can also consult with your physician and get some recommendations. My doctor told me what I need to do, and that's what I do when it's time for me to donate blood because I don't want any more sad faces, and I've had a couple and I don't like not being able to donate blood. So thanks, Visha, for that. And thanks, Angie, for your question.
Great question. Great question.
Yeah. Visha, okay, so y'all, even though a lot of the mask requirements are being uh relaxed, we're still in a pandemic. So, and the Red Cross is still implementing um, procedures to make sure all of the blood donors are and staff are safe. So, can you share more about what you guys are doing um, along those lines?
Absolutely. We are adhering to COVID protocols. And what that means is that all of our staff are required to wear masks throughout the process. Anytime we're in the donor area, we also ask that our donors wear masks. That is a requirement. Um, if you are indeed against wearing masks, and I don't know if that's the proper term, then we will ask that you consider donating at another time. That is a requirement that you're to wear your mask when you're in our facility, in the vicinity of the donation area. Also, we have implemented extra sanitation procedures. So our beds are wiped down as well as the health histories in between each donor. Our waiting area, or what we call the queue, is actually set up and spaced, socially distanced, as well as the beds. So we are adhering to all of the COVID protocols, and we ask that each of our donors actually follow those as well that are in place. So, of course, if you with your family, then you have your different, you're a little bit more comfortable. You may be able to, kind of sit together, but we will have those areas socially distanced as well as the beds, and those will be wiped down in between each donor, as well as our health history area, and everyone is asked to be masked.
Okay. All right. What about snacks? Y'all gonna have snacks,
We
right?
absolutely will have. After that donation, we will ask that you sit for about 15 minutes just to make sure you're feeling well and take part in our canteen. We have some snacks afterwards for you to sit and eat and kind of, just to make sure you're feeling well. Some juice, some water, some Cheez-Its maybe, just to kind of eat something and make sure that you're feeling well before you depart.
Okay, sounds good. So let's back up a little bit. So for those who haven't signed up yet, they can visit redcrossblood.org. You can enter the sponsor code Be Strong and choose your time slot that you want to donate on March 26th at our birthday bash and blood drive, a community health fair event at Kaufman Road Park, 2733 Trotter Road. Um, but we can also use the donor app. I know you mentioned that briefly. You want to talk about the blood donor app?
Absolutely. I love the Blood Donor app. And so you can visit your Apple Store or your Google Play Store and download Blood Donor app. You just key it in the search, it'll pop up, and you can download that. It is so wonderful. It'll ask you to create a username and password, just like any other app or program that you would use. And it will assign you a unique donor ID, and that donor ID actually lives in the app. You don't have to have a card or anything, it lives in the app. The cool thing that my most favorite feature, and I'll tell you some of the other features, but one of my favorite features is that you can track your blood journey. through that app. So you actually see where your blood has been processed, if it's in storage, and when it has gone to its destination. That is one of the cool features of the app. You can also complete your rapid pass, which is your health questionnaire the day of. You can pull the donor app up and find a blood drive. So it'll have make your appointment, schedule your appointment in the app. You're
Right.
gonna key in "Be Strong" and
Okay.
find that particular drive to make your appointment. And also, right now, the Red Cross is doing sickle cell trait screening for anyone who self-identifies as Black or African American. So that will also populate in the app after your donation has been processed. If you don't know your blood type, that'll also populate in the app after your blood has been processed. Any of your vitals that were taken that day, your temperature, your blood pressure, that kind of stuff, your hemoglobin level will also be tracked in that app. So you're able to see, over time. And I know that's something that Brenda has talked about before. You can look back and say, well, what was my blood pressure last time? Or what
Mhm.
was my hemoglobin level the last time? Ooh, I'm coming up. I'm doing great. So those are some neat features of the app. You're also able to show your impact with teams. So for example, I would challenge each of you to download that app and also join the Be Strong's team. So they're able to track their impact over over the United States, I'll say, because this isn't just for people here in South Carolina,
Right.
but it'll show us, how many lives have been impacted by donations that were initiated through the Be Strong's team. So that's another cool feature as well. They have some neat little tools in there, like some selfie frames that you can use to take a selfie while you're actually donating. There are lots of different things you can see in there. You can see some of the groups that have other impacts in the communities. Um, Nice little features. It keeps a track of your milestones. So
Mhm.
once you reach your 1 gallon mark or your 2 gallon mark, you're able to see that, and the Red Cross actually sends you neat little prizes once you've reached those milestones as well. And we also have, this is another spinoff, what we call the Sickle Cell Fighters Program.
Yes.
So if your blood is actually tagged, and I won't say that in a bad way, but tagged as one of those units that, or the blood types that have those specific antigens that sickle cell patients need, um, then you will be a part of the Sickle Cell Fighters Program. You'll get a special letter from the Red Cross letting you know that your blood is, and they like to, most of my donors who get that, they'll say, I'm a rare donor, like I'm a special donor. And they'll let you know that your blood is specific to those with sickle cell disease. So that's pretty cool as well to be a part of that Sickle Cell Fighters Program.
Oh yeah. I just got a cool cooler backpack. Sickle cell fighters.
Yes, and they are rolling out some more incentives, and some of them will be to the effect of cash, or gift cards. So we do the special incentives with the gift cards. So even now, not just getting the donor incentive when you donate, but now through that Sickle Cell Fighters Program, once you reach certain milestones, you will be able to get additional gift cards.
Okay, cool. So, and I'm so glad Visha mentioned that impact button. I have my app open right now. Show my little badges so I can brag to my sisters and stuff. Um, but if you hit impact, you can join the Be Strong group. You hit impact, join team, and enter the Be Strong group, and it'll pull up, and you can join. And so all my friends who are not in South Carolina or who can't come to our events, our specific blood drives, whenever you have an opportunity to donate blood, because we still want you to, and you join this team, then you're on the team. You're a Braden's buddy, and we'll send you. And if you let me know if I see your name, we'll send you one of these Braden buddies wristbands for you to have, so you can wear it proudly. So thanks for mentioning that as well. So we love the app, really do. But you
That's
mentioned incentive. What about our donors? What do they get?
Our
outside
donors.
of saving lives, what else do they get next Saturday?
Right, that's the greatest incentive of all, right? Being knowing
Right.
that you have actually saved some lives. But anybody who donates at the Be Strong's blood drive, you will get a $20 Amazon e-gift card sent to your email about 10 business days after your donation. It's sent to your email. So I have to say that we will not be handing them out on site, but it is a $20 Amazon e-gift card that will be sent to your email when you donate at the Be Strong Group's blood drive. And it'll come to your email. I keep saying that. It'll come to your
Yeah.
email. And I've used mine. I know Brenda's used hers.
Mhm.
So it is legit, like you get the redemption in your email and you're able to add it to your Amazon order. So $20, oh my god, I don't know many people who don't shop on Amazon these days, and so I've got something in my cart right now,
Right.
so I will save it
Yeah.
until I get my gift card sometimes. But I mean, that is an awesome incentive. We'll probably have some more cool incentives as well to give away on site, but you've got to come to be able to get those. I
Yeah.
won't
Sure.
tell those, it'll be a surprise.
Make sure, because we will have a swag, the Be Strong Group swag bag too for everybody who comes to the bash, and while supplies last, because we
Yes.
want it to be just like a sellout, even though we're not really selling it, but we need you to come on out. So, oh yeah, I love those gift card. Amazon, I think my Amazon app is like, girl, you got another gift card. You need to come on. So of course I oblige. So, but yeah, outside of the idea, well, the knowledge of knowing that your donation is saving lives, and
Mhm.
that's a good plus to have that.
Absolutely.
So, um, and let's talk about briefly. Let's talk about what really to do after you donate. I know, we try to encourage people to have a seat for a little while, and like you mentioned, replenish, get all the Oreos you want and all the
Yeah.
apple juice, and just rest for a few minutes before you go back out, right? And enjoy the rest of the birthday bash.
Yes, absolutely. We want you to sit for a little bit to replenish and just kind of make sure you're feeling well. Give yourself a little cool down, or a recovery mode, just to make sure that everything's all good before you go back out, and we want you to afterwards, we don't want you to do any heavy lifting or any strenuous activities afterwards, because remember, your body has to kind of rejuvenate a little. So even afterwards, when you leave the birthday bash, then you can still go out and have another steak, like, treat yourself to a great big dinner to replenish those nutrients as well. And like I said, just kind of take it easy. We don't want you doing anything strenuous after you have donated. So if you're a runner, get your run in that morning. If you play football, get your practice in that morning. Anything like that, just make sure that you kind of take it easy for the rest of the day and eat a good dinner, or good dinner. It'll be past lunchtime, so eat a good dinner.
Absolutely. You guys, we have Vesha Jamison with us. She's the Sickle Cell Account Manager with the American Red Cross. She's providing us with so much good information. She's answering questions. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comment. And for those who are watching on replay, you can still put your question or your comment in there, and we'll definitely make sure Vesha sees it and is able to answer. But we have her as a guest for our upcoming event, our fifth annual Braden's Birthday Bash and Blood Drive, a community health fair event. You guys, we're going to have so many cool exhibitors. You mind if I mention that? Along with us partnering with the American Red Cross and Richland County Recreation Commission, we're going to have different organizations out just sharing a lot of information to the community. We have Healthy Blue will be there. Um, Family Connections. They're a wonderful organization in our community. MUSC will be there with their vaccine van. So if you want to get an additional booster or one of your vaccine shots, that service will be available there as well. We'll provide more information on our website. We're going to have custom design chicks. We're going to have Kinfolk Travels. We're going to have, I mentioned yoga and meditation. We're going to have the James R. Clark Sickle Cell Foundations. They will be doing trait testing. And Visha, I remember going to one of your events and you were encouraging or asking the participants, the guests there, how many actually know their status. And I loved how you put it. And can you remember what I liked about what you were saying? Not what.
Somewhat. um, you know, a lot of times we rely on information from those who've come before us, and not to say anything against that, but for me, if you have not seen it on a lab printout, um, mom and them, sometimes they forget or it's something that wasn't even done then. So for them just to say, oh, that don't run in our family or we don't have that in our family, I would not rely on that. Know your status just like you want to know any other status, right? Whether it be your blood pressure or your STD status, anything like that. You want to know your status because proactive versus reactive, right? These are the questions that we're able to ask on the front end and be able to have a solid plan of action or a solid base of information in the event that our partner, our husbands, our spouse, they actually have the trait as well. We need to know this information. Two people who both have trait, there's a 25% chance with each individual pregnancy that
Mhm.
your child can be born with sickle cell disease. And I stress each individual pregnancy. Like it's not like if I've got 4 kids, two of them will have it, two of them won't. No, it's a percentage or a chance with each individual pregnancy. It's just kind of the luck of the draw, if you want to think of it that way. However, those molecules line up in that particular child. So we want to not rely on, our family history because we have had individuals to not know they've even had sickle cell disease,
Mhm.
until later on in life because people in their um, family, parents, grandparents have said, oh, you just have growing pains because the technology wasn't there then. Newborn screening was not required then. It is since been mandated over all 50 states. So babies born now, they get those letters in the mail. But back then it wasn't that way. I met a nice young gentleman who was um, maybe in his 50s, but it wasn't until the first time he donated that he knew that he had sickle cell trait.
Wow.
So these are things, get tested, see that. And it's also important too that you know what type of trait you have. A lot of people
Right.
don't realize there are different types of trait, just like there are different types of sickle cell disease. My son has SS, and Braden has a different type of disease. We know that some of our other warriors have sickle beta thalassemia, sickle cell SC, so these are different things that we need to know and how these traits pair up and when we're talking about reproducing. So I'm sure I said it, in a more milder
You did.
fashion
But
this time,
the point
but
is
it's
that.
one of those things, just and we don't want to do it in a disrespectful way. We of course respect what our family tells us, but at the same time, these are things we need to know for ourselves. So unless it's on paper from a certified lab or doctor's office, not just somebody wrote it and say you don't have that,
Right.
then we need to make sure for ourselves that we are being tested, knowing our status. 1 in 10 to 13 African Americans are born with trait. So if you can do the numbers, 1 in 10,
Mm. Yep.
if 50 people are at the birthday bash,
Right.
at least a minimum a minimum of 5. But I think that day, Brenda, there was probably about 40 of us standing around the court, and there were probably about 12 hands raised just right there in
Right.
that small vicinity.
Yep.
So you can see how those numbers work because, 1 in 10, but a lot of times it's a little bit more than that.
Yep. So come on out. There's so much, you guys can learn. The James, like I mentioned, the James R. Clark Sickle Cell Memorial Foundation will be out there, and they will be doing trait testing. Dre 365 will be represented, and actually on our website, I'm gonna post tonight all of our other sponsors and exhibitors. And presenters that will be out there next Saturday, March 26th. Heart of Ice sculptures. If you guys came to our first birthday bash, um, Colin was out there and he sculpted uh, the Be Strong group, and then the second one he made another sculpture. So he'll be back out there today. He actually helped us with our logo that you see up in the corner of this uh, Tuesday chat, Wednesday edition. So we're so excited. We'll share that information for you, and we just ask that if you can donate, go ahead and sign up and donate. We're 22 short of Braden's goal. And if you need some encouragement, I know, Visha, just bear with me. I shared some videos early of why. And listen, if anybody's listening and they want to share why they think blood donation is important or why they donate blood, hey, you could take like a 30-second or less video telling why and send it to me. You can message the Be Strong group, or you can send it to my personal messenger under Brenda Anderson Green. But if you don't mind, will you indulge me, Bisha?
Sure,
Let
absolutely.
me share one, you guys.
And I am a sickle cell warrior. Blood donations
No, hold on, y'all.
So we asked, take a listen.
Blood donation is very important. I donate blood as a way of actively completing community service while saving a life, but additionally because I have several loved ones and students who have received life-saving blood transfusions. And so in order for them to have the blood that they needed, someone had to donate. So I encourage everyone to donate blood as often as possible to save a life.
The reason I donate blood is to save lives, to make a difference in society, and to help those that are in a great need. And I have a heart, and I love people, and I'm a people person.
I donate blood to give back and to save a life. You never know when it could be you.
Thanks, everybody. If you would like to share your why of why blood donation is important to you, let us know.
Okay, I wanted to share that real quick. I wanted to get the one with Tyson on there real quick. He's one of our warriors, and I know um, perhaps my Wi-Fi isn't the happiest with all this technology going on. So just bear with me, you guys, one more time. Okay, it didn't want to air, but go to our website and or our Facebook page or our Instagram page, and you'll see that I share them there. And just sharing the why. Sometimes it helps when you hear the why behind people donate, and it may resonate with you as well. And again, if you're already a blood donor or you're signed up to donate on next Saturday and you want to shoot a 30-second video, go ahead and send it to me, and so we can share with the community. So, Visha, do you have anything else you wanna share or think we need to know and prep?
Not that I can think of, but just sign up. Go to redcrossblood.org and enter that sponsor code Be Strong
Mhm.
and sign up. Get your name on the schedule. Tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a coworker. Um, and enjoy some of the other things that will be there for you on Saturday. It's a community event, and you will definitely leave with more than what you came with. If you are unable to donate, yet again, make sure you recruit a friend, refer a friend, right? We refer a friend all the time and everything. The Be Strong group has a referral program as well. So make sure you refer a friend. And if you are interested in hosting a blood drive, send your information to Brenda, or either you can shoot me an email at vesha.jamison@redcross.org. And we can get that coming to a community near you. That is absolutely our mission. We want as many diverse partners as possible, because we want to save as many lives as possible. So I encourage you just to come out on March 26th from 10 to 3, donate, save some lives, and enjoy some of the festivities that the Be Strong group has planned for you.
We're so excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Visha, once again for sharing on behalf of the American Red Cross here in Columbia, and also sharing on behalf of being a mom, a super mom of an amazing warrior, Draylon. And I appreciate you so much. And, even though this journey has not been fun, but I've met some amazing people, and God has blessed my life with some amazing people, and you are one of them. So I appreciate you and all you do, and I appreciate you guys for listening, for bearing with me of the reschedule from last night, but we'll be back. Hopefully we'll have Richland County Recreation Commission to come on and share more about their organization, what they do in the community. And if you live in Richland County, you know what they do. There are a lot of parks. The parks are, I mean, they have something going on all the time. The grounds are beautiful, especially the one at Kaufman Road. And we're so proud to be able to host events in our community, the community where I grew up. I know the Birthday Bash and Blood Drive is at Kaufman Road Park, which is close to where I live now. And our Cycle for Sickle Cell event that we host in August is in Eastover, which is my hometown. So it's and the staff with Richland County Parks and Recreation, they are amazing. And they are members of the community, and some of which are uh, classmates of my sisters and myself. And so it's like a big family. And they definitely put so much time and service into their communities, and we appreciate it so much. We appreciate them embracing us, embracing our organization, embracing the cause, and allowing us the opportunity through partnership to host our events in our community. So we're appreciative of our partnership with Richland County Recreation Commission, as well as the American Red Cross, who, and I have to put this, Visha ask that if you want to host the blood drive, you can send me the information, or you can send the information to her at her email address. And I was kind of intimidated in the beginning before our first one back in 2018 at our first birthday bash and blood drive. But oh my gosh, they made it so easy. Now I did have to get the people to sign up. But once I got the folks to sign up, my people to sign up, you know, everything else, the Red Cross handled it. I mean, they supported me in the, making the flyers and help with advertising, and help to share our story. So I'm appreciative of that. So you guys, it'll be easy as long as you get your people to sign up. But we need you. The need for blood is constant. It's real. It impacts real people. We're here to testify on that. Um, and so just join us. Just join us, become a regular donor. Join us at the Birthday Bash and Blood Drive. Join us as an advocate for those with sickle cell disease, as well as their caregivers. We can use you on our team. And together as a community, we can we can make this thing great. So
Right.
yeah, yeah. I know that was long-winded, wasn't it?
No, no, no,
Okay,
no.
it was. All right. Thank you guys once again for joining us. We'll see you next time. Next week for sure. Could be Tuesday, could be Wednesday, could be Thursday, but we'll let you know. We appreciate you so much. Good night, everybody.
Good night.